Imagine being a kid from San Mateo, California, with dreams of making it as a professional athlete one day. You pick up the football in high school and eventually make it to the University of Michigan, only to land 7th on the depth chart. Not getting a chance to start until your senior year, here's where the chip on the shoulder starts. The 2000 NFL Draft is here. You land in the 6th round, pick 199 to the New England Patriots. People thought you would never make it to the NFL, let alone being a starting quarterback. After decades of early mornings, late nights, and sacrifices, led you not only to be a starter in the NFL, but the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, and 3 NFL MVPs. There's only one GOAT. My name is Vic Blends, and this is Deep Cut with Tom Brady.
What's up, Vic?
All right, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like I need a cut, man.
Welcome to the shop. Let's do it.
Thank you. How you doing? Everything good?
Everything blessed, man.
All right, so how you gonna do this? Do I get any inspiration images?
Come on,
Or are you just gonna do your thing?
tell me what you like, man. How do you like your haircut?
I do like my haircut. I've gone different styles over a lot of years. Depends what mood I'm in. Right now, I've tried to grow it out a little bit.
So how short do you usually go on the sides?
The problem is the shorter I go, the more gray it gets. And I don't like seeing all those grays.
Grays is just wisdom. That's all it is. Gray, you get smarter when you see the grays.
Grays is definitely some years of wisdom.
Do you like it not to be over the ears?
Yeah.
Is it behind the ears?
A little bit behind the ears, a little bit, so your ears are super tight like that. I don't like
A little military cut,
like
yeah.
So I don't know, I kind of like it a little longer.
Yeah. And what about the top? Just trimming the top?
Teeny trim.
Teeny bit, a little bit on the top.
Teeny trim.
You style it, how do you do it?
I'm pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Pretty lazy with my hair.
Kind of go a little.
Yeah, just kind of keep it a little messy.
Got
And
you.
when it's too messy, I wear a hat.
Yeah.
So if you mess it up, then I'm wearing a hat for a long time.
We're not gonna do that today. And then beard, you keep that stubble?
Keep the stubble, for the most part.
Like, you want me to take it down any bit?
Pretty good, leave the stubble.
Got you.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. And then, I don't know, let you do your thing.
Got you, yeah. Just a little slight box right there on the bottom of the sideburn.
That's nice, I like that.
Got you. All right, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man. So
how old are you?
I'm 24. I'm actually gonna be 25 on April 9th. So next week I'm gonna be 25.
When did you start cutting hair? 7
years ago, I picked up clippers for the first time. I was in my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a side hustle, thinking that college was gonna be my route and that I had to get a degree to pretty much be successful, man. I just knew that I always just had hustle. I always just had drive. I always had this entrepreneur mind. And I had no idea what I would do if I went to college.
Yeah.
So just trying to find a way to make money if I went. And I remember my barber telling me that if I learn how to cut hair, I'll make money for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I was like, man, the rest of my life and money in the same sense, I got to see what I could do. So, I picked it up as a passion. And, I heard God tell me my senior year of high school that if I took it serious, it would open doors for me. And, that was all I needed to hear to go ahead and take that all the way as far as I can. And, when I started, I just looked at it as I could be 18, 19 and do something with barbering that we've never seen before and take a bet on that for myself. Or I can go to college and, it's still a great opportunity, but, I'll be kind of following tradition and go in that direction. So I wanted to do something that can inspire kids, not only, go and chase a dream, but whatever it is that you can do or you want to do, you can be celebrated for it. I took a traditional job as a barber and try to show the world how you can make a major impact in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right. So today, it's no bullshit. All right.
That's what it's all about.
It's no bullshit today, man. So tell me about your new partnership with Noble and how you guys are kind of fighting the same mission.
I've been through a lot in this second part of my life, part of my career, professional career. I found an amazing partner in Noble, my friend Mike Rapoli. Mike and I have had a lot of conversations over the years on how we're going to impact people. And the way you do that is through a mindset. And the mindset is me versus me. It's no bullshit. And I think what I felt when I had an opportunity to go to college and had an opportunity to go and play pro sports, and I wanted to leave no stone unturned. I always wanted to think, what do I need to do better? Where do I need to put more emphasis? And it was all about not making excuses. And it was really no bullshit. Yeah. It was about how do we go out and get it done? Where are my priorities and how do I want to go create actions around what my priorities are? And still trying to take that mentality though that I had as an athlete into other parts of my life, into other parts of, still ways to touch people in a positive way and impact people in a positive way. And I still get to be involved in a lot of sports and sports businesses and So I think sports does a great job bringing people together, bringing communities together, communities full of people that can really cheer for a common team, a common dream, a common mission. And there's a lot of great things ahead, and try to wake up every day with something to do, a great purpose, and try to go out there and live, a different dream than I've had in the past, but still go out there and be a positive influence on a lot of people.
Sure. Sports is universal language, spoken anywhere.
Yeah.
Same for cutting hair. It's like, no matter where you go, hair's not going to change. Even though I can't speak the language there, hair's not going to change. It's something you can take around the world, and it just brings culture together.
Yeah.
And I love the word that you said earlier about intention. Yeah. Because as I've watched you over the years, everything that you've done had intention between it. It was all about, I'm going here for a specific mission. It's not just blindly walking into trying to hope that something happens. Yeah. So I love the word intention. I think it fits great with everything that you're doing now, coming into retirement. And, as you know, today is very special to me. I got my dad here, which was, the start of my journey, trying to convince him I was going to be able to do something with barbering. And, I'm only able to be here because of the way that he raised me, the things that he's taught me. And I feel like I'm nothing short of a great man because of him. Yeah. So what were some of your favorite lessons that you've been able to learn from your dad over your life?
Amazing. I talk about my family. I get very emotional. There's very few people that have seen you through every part of your journey of life. And then really your family, your immediate family, myself, with my parents and my sisters that, I just grew up in the Bay Area, California, and I was just such an American kid. I was just loved going to school and loved being around my friends. And we had a neighborhood. We didn't have much of a backyard, so we just played in the street till 6, 7 o'clock at night. When you could do that, I know, you just played on the street and you'd stop the game when the cars would come. That's where I grew up, just loving being around my friends. And I had the most amazing parents that supported me in every single thing that I did. And they loved the fact that, I was into sports. We had a very kind of sports-centric family, but my dad was my hero. He was someone I looked up to every single day of my life, someone I always tried to be like. He's the most caring, loving man as a father, as a grandparent, as a husband, and he was a great role model for me. And I think through all that support, all the years, give me a great foundation. And it's easy that, when people are around you and meeting your dad, he said that, he wants to see you do better than him. And I think when you become a parent, you realize, man, you want to see your kids succeed. And when they're doing better than you, there's no greater joy and feeling in the world. And my dad felt that way for me. He was always there to support me when things didn't go well. And believe me, they didn't go well for a long time. Through high school, I had a lot of challenges. Through college, a lot of challenges. Early parts of my pro career, challenges. Different parts of my pro career, challenges. But, your parents stick with you every step of the way. And I think you learn from them. And they help you grow in ways that you couldn't have grown had they not been there. And I feel like it was the biggest blessing in my life was having a mom and a dad that were there to support me every single step of the way and really helped me build a great foundation for the success that I was going to have, but also for the failures that I was going to have. Because life isn't about the successes. Life is about the challenges too. Mm-hmm. And because we're all going to go through challenges. Nothing's a straight line in life. There's nothing that just goes exactly the way you plan it. Sometimes there's a lot of adversity along the way, and you need people there that are support you when things get rough too. And my parents have been there, like your dad and your mom have been, I'm sure, every step of their way as well.
Yeah, it's unconditional.
Yeah, what was it like growing up with a dad that was in the military? Was he tough on it?
Oh, man, my dad's like, my mom's actually tough. My mom's from Russia, so she's full Russian immigrant, man. She is to the bone, as tough as it can get. My dad's also tough, but my dad always had like a softer side to him. But if there was anything that we can do ourselves, we did it ourselves. We would never call for help. We're not hiring anybody. Like, we're going to figure it out with whatever we have. So I feel like my dad, maybe not always having the right tools in the toolbox, took what he was given in life and made the best out of it. Took the cards he was dealt and just went ahead and did what he could. So that was like the biggest thing that I could learn looking at my dad, is that I will figure it out, no matter what I have to do. Yeah. And for you, like, now you're a father, right? Yeah. Father of 3, 2 boys, 1 girl, man. And you're stepping into that role now, being a dad. And, for me, I'm young, right? 24, I ain't got no kids yet. But
yeah, good. Take your time.
Taking my time with it. But what are some of your favorite lessons you learned now, being in the position of being dad?
There's nothing more I love than being a dad and seeing the kids, find the things they like. I love being out there seeing them try to accomplish something and commit their time and attention to it, and then go actually after it and get it done. And I think, my parents gave me a great foundation, a great modeling for how to be a parent too, like your dad has, like your mom has. So for me, it's not always trying to repeat exactly the way things are. I think one thing as I've kind of become a parent over the last 16 years with my oldest son, and then as it kind of transitioned to my daughter who's 11, I think I've gotten a little, obviously you get better as a parent, I think, because, when you're a young parent, you don't really know what you're doing. You don't know.
It's your first time.
Yeah, you're winging it.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're trying to wing it. So I think when you become a parent, you're trying new things for the first time. You don't going through all these things for the first time, so you don't exactly know always the right thing to say. As you go, you get a little bit better at it. You get a little more understanding of it. You try to just continue to kind of refresh your skills, as a parent. Am I listening or am I talking? Am I mentoring or am I disciplining? Am I, holding them accountable, or am I letting them get away with things? Or do I want them to win the argument or lose the argument? Sometimes you want your kids to win the argument.
Yeah.
Because you want them to say, okay, if you really believe in it, you can really convince me, then shit.
Yeah. That's kind of where because again, me and my dad were butting heads about the barbering thing. It's just different generation. And, we said it earlier, it's unconditional love. So I know that my parents never wanted to see me fail. It's just, there's just a risk there. They're trying to push you towards what they think is going to be the best situation. So I remember the last thing my dad told me, he was like, hey man, if you're going to do it, just do it. Yeah. Make a plan, stick to it, and do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, my chance to prove to you, man. So it's kind of just how they told me to go about it. And I love what you're saying about them just having to win the argument and really prove that you believe in what you're doing.
I think you always want to, I think there's a lesson I've always talked to a lot of parents. I ask a lot, what do your parents do for you, and what advice would you give parents? And, obviously to be a professional athlete is very difficult. There's long odds. A lot of kids want to be that. And the one thing my parents always did for me was they were never less than 100% supportive of what I wanted to do.
Do you feel, did they have any expectations on you? Like when you start, hey, if you're going to do this, you got to go here. Was there expectation on in the beginning?
I think they never wanted to temper my expectations for myself. I was always a pretty ambitious kid. Even when I wanted to go to Michigan to play, they were all in on it. Even though Michigan was one of the great college football programs. And, I was probably not the highest recruit coming out of high school, but it wasn't like they said, no, I think we should think about going to another school that may be a little easier for you. I think the reality is when you do things that are easy in life, you don't value them as much. When you do things that are difficult and that require you to dig really deep in yourself, then you value them more. It's easy to quit. It's easy to try the easier path. It's easier to try something that's already been done before. It's easier to do something knowing what the end result ultimately would be. It's harder when you don't know what the end result would be. It's harder when you face the uphill challenge and you deal with it and you go through the adversity and you face it head on, and you that's where you build confidence in yourself. That's where you build your own self-esteem. If things are given to you, you never have a sense of how difficult it is to actually earn it. So I think I had a lot of challenging experiences, going through my young sports career where things weren't really easy for me. I started in high school. It was a challenge to get to be a starting quarterback in high school. And I had to work really hard to do that. And by my third year in high school, okay, now you can be the starting quarterback. And we weren't even that good. I went to Michigan and I was a seventh quarterback on the depth chart when I started at Michigan. I had to work really hard to even play there. So when I did that, I was, oh shit, okay, if I have a good work ethic and I have a good team kind of attitude, team first attitude, then the coaches respect that and the players respect that. Okay, if I can be a good team player, then my teammates will really understand that I'm there to support them and I'm trying to do my best for them. And all those lessons I learned helped me develop even when I became a professional. I see a lot of young pro athletes are given so much through high school and through college because they're the best athletes. And naturally the coaches favor them, give them attention, tell them how good they are. They don't deal with maybe some adversities in their sporting career. And then by the time they start to face them, they don't know how to deal with them because a lot of it's come pretty easy and natural for them. And I think for me, a lot of things were very difficult early on. And there was a lot of challenges through high school and college. So by the time I got to my professional career with the Patriots, whatever challenges there were, I felt like, oh, fuck, I've dealt with this in the past. I know how to deal with this. I'm just going to work harder. I'm going to care more. I'm going to put more time in. I'm going to show up earlier. I'm going to work later. I'm going to study more. And I'm going to do things that other people aren't willing to do, because that's how I had to do it through high school and college. And I was lucky to learn those lessons at a young age when the limelight wasn't on me. A lot of kids, you know, they're not prepared, let's say, for all the attention, and they're doing really well. Next, you know, their first bit of adversity comes when they're professional and the lights are on. And then, oh man, I don't know how to quite deal with it. And then, you know, you end up having a really short career because you don't know how to deal with it when things don't go your way.
So I guess, you know, looking at your story, not having maybe the physical gift of having the greatest build ever and being the fastest, what does it take to be great outside of just physicality?
So I always felt like, and this is where Noble really comes into play too, is, you know, for all of us to actualize our true potential, there's many components to it. And there's a physical component, a mental component, and an emotional component. Look at my ferocious guard dog right over here.
Yeah.
Plus, you're going to get a haircut later?
Big and scary. You the same cut your dad got.
I know. So I think there's a physical component, a mental component, and an emotional component. Mm-hmm. And I think when I was being evaluated to be a professional quarterback, the only thing they looked at was the physical component. And maybe I was pretty tall. I was always tall, obviously, but I wasn't the biggest build.
You surprised me. You look shorter on TV.
I know, everyone always says that. And then they get around me like, damn, you're big.
Yeah, you look a little shorter on TV.
I know. I'm around like O-linemen that are 6'7", 6'8". So those are big boys. But, you know, I didn't naturally, I'd say, have the biggest build coming out of high school, you know, and then in college, even though I worked at it, you know, it just wasn't the way that my body would develop. I was kind of born with what I was born with, and I was going to make the most of it. But where did I really exceed expectations was my ability mentally to understand what I needed to do to be better, to learn the game, to learn the tactics of the game, to learn the disciplines of the game, to learn the strategies of the games. And then emotionally, how could I bring a positive team-first attitude every single day? Not self-focused, not self-serving. And I think the biggest problem with a lot of fucking kids these days, it's all about them. It's all about them, their brand, their social media. And then when it's about me and then not about us, well, there's no way to succeed as a team if all you're doing is thinking about how selfish it is for you to get the attention.
It's cool to show the world how great you are, but the most inspiring thing is how great you can make others.
That's the point of life, is what we could do. How do you help other people finish the race? Not just you. But when people are looking for self-glorification, very self-serving attitudes, very selfish attitudes, well, it's hard to have a team-first attitude if all you do is concerned about how you're doing or your stats or your, you know, the glory you're getting, the gratification you're getting. So I feel like the physical, mental, emotional for all of us is so important. We have to evaluate ourselves every day. What do we need to do physically to be better? What do we need to do mentally to be better? Emotionally, how can I be more stable, more consistent? How can I be more present? How can I be a more inspiration for the people that I'm around every day? Yeah. You know, so that's where I think people miss the boat. When they evaluated me coming out of college, it was like, Fluffy, chill out. Fluffy.
Big girl. How old is she?
I don't know. She's 8 years old.
Oh, man. My boy, I got a dog too. He's 8. Pitbull boxer mix.
I like it.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Russ.
Russ?
Russ. That's my guy.
Really? Where'd you get Russ from?
Shelter. I adopted him in Fayetteville.
Cute.
Yeah, so he's been with me every step.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hear you talking about just finding the inspiration mentally to keep going. And
yeah.
You're at a very different point in your career now. Where are you drawing inspiration at now?
I'm always looking for people that are a little bit different. You know, I think one thing that drew me to getting to speak to you is I saw some of the things you were doing. And I love the way that you're trying to make your mark and the way you're trying to create, you know, your own way of communicating to people in a positive way and how you're trying to make a difference. And those are the types of people I'm drawn to. People who see 99% of the world sees things one way. And then I think there's 1% that sees a little bit differently. And naturally, I always kind of gravitate to those people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's still so much for me to learn. And there's still so much for me to grow from. And yeah, I've had some certain experiences playing sports and that's been great. I mean, really, my joy comes from people. My joy comes from the relationships that I have. And I think my closest relationships, the most meaningful ones, are the ones where I get the most gratification from. whether it's my children, my parents, my sisters, my great friends, people that are with you that through all these important times in your life. And you can really be yourself around. And I think for me, naturally, my guard's always a little bit up when I meet people because I'm not quite sure, at first what they're looking for.
Yep.
And I think for me to be around people that I can learn from, that's the best part of my life. And I've been very fortunate to be around some amazing people that have taught me grow in a lot of ways. They've taught me to think differently, taught me to approach things differently. And, hopefully you create relationships where you're learning from people and they're learning from you. And then together, what you can do as teammates and even my Noble family, how can we impact the world in this amazing way through our brand, through, this mindset of whatever comes your way, you're going to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And you're not going to make excuses. You're not going to be a victim. You're not going to always blame other people. How can you look at yourself every day and say, how can I be a little bit better for the people that are counting on me? How can I be better for my teammates? And whether your teammates, not just a metaphor, your teammates could be your business people, could be your family, could be your kids. How can I be better for them every day? So, that's what we're trying to accomplish.
And I guess my thought is, as we've seen you just over your career of football, you've always been coachable. From my perspective, I don't know if you ever got into your own head. It's like, oh, I'm the greatest. I'm doing this. I got these rings. It's like, I feel like you had number 6 and you still coached to number 7.
Yeah.
And you're staying a student to life. Just how do you continue to do that? How do you not let things get to your head? And it's like, all right, I got to sit back and listen more.
Because in the end, I never really gave a shit about, what people saying you're great, that is bullshit. They say you're great and then they'll say you suck. And then they'll say you're terrible and say you're overrated. And they'll say you're, the coolest and they say you're the worst. So it's not about what other people think. It's really about how you think about yourself. It's who you look at in the mirror every day, saying, am I proud of the person that I'm looking at in the mirror? Am I trying to do the right thing for people? Am I trying to be the right person, for myself first? Am I proud of the person that's in the mirror? What changes do I need to make? Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror. Mm-hmm. That's really what life's about. And if you could live up to the expectation you have for yourself, then things are pretty good, especially if you care about other people and if you care about the people that you're working with and the people that care about you. I want to deliver for the people that believe in me. I want to care about the people that are, trying to make it the way you made it, to make it the way I made it through hard work, through a lot of great support. And I feel like the people that I look up to still are the people that are lifelong learners, people that are curious, knowing that you don't know shit. What you know is very limited. I have a guy that I love. He said, what you know is very limited and what you don't know is limitless. So man, go in there and listen. Go in there and try to learn. Go in there and try to open your ears up and say, what can I take from this and apply to my life so that I can be a little bit better every day for myself and my family and the people that I'm closest with.
Yes. So with all the things that you've learned, because it feels like you probably lived a couple of different lifestyles over your career.
Yeah.
How has it been just passing that down to your kids and allowing them still to learn through experience, but not trying to overdo it with just feeling like, parents kind of have it figured out from their perspective, So how are you teaching that down to your kids?
And parents, certainly, as all parents know, we don't have it figured out either. I think there's this natural thought that, as a child, the parents, the adults.
That's how we see it, man. We see y'all as superheroes. My dad got the right answer to everything. He said it was going to go one way, it's going that way. My mom said it was going that way, it's going that way. So, you're getting older, and I'm just realizing you guys are just trying to figure it out the same way that we are.
Yeah.
You grow a different relationship as they get older. So,
yeah. We're just trying to, you try to do. My dad always tells me, Tommy, all you can do is the best you can do with the opportunities that are presented in front of you. And I think what it means is just do your best. Do the very best you could do. And look, whatever the outcome is, the outcome is. It's not like you can control the outcome. You can't. In life, you just can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control what you put into it. And sometimes you have to be okay with that. The process of self-improvement, the process of trying to win a Super Bowl, the process of trying to be a parent is doing the best you could do. And you know what? Sometimes I could play the best game in the world, and sometimes you get an unlucky bounce and it doesn't go your way. I could be totally prepared for a game and go out there and just not play well. That's the reality, and you got to deal with it. And I think where I felt the worst, and this didn't happen that much, fortunately for me in my sporting career, was I was fully prepared. I just didn't have a great game. Mm-hmm. And it still doesn't feel great, but it's better than saying, you know what? I fucked off in my preparation. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready and prepared to go out there and do the job. I always felt like there's one thing I could control would be my preparation, and how I put myself in front of my teammates and how I prepared during the week. And if I could do that, then whatever the outcome was, not that I was totally okay with it if we lost, but it would soften the blow.
Yeah.
Even like I look at some of, the biggest losses, in my football career. I'm okay with those games. I know we didn't play the best, and I know, but you know what? It wasn't because I wasn't trying to be my best, and it wasn't because I didn't prepare to be my best. Even losing, these big Super Bowl games, which everyone's watching, the whole world's watching. It was because they just played better than we did on that day, and it wasn't because I was out prepared.
Yeah. So how are you taking losses in life and then turning them into a positive experience? Sometimes you get a loss and it beats you down.
Yeah.
And it's hard to move past them, but you've been through tough losses. We've all seen it.
Yeah.
How are you taking those things and turning them into something positive?
It's a challenge. And again, at different parts of your life, you deal with different things. Different parts of your life, you're dealing with different adversities and challenges. And again, like the parents, whether it's my age or people older than me, they don't have it all figured out. And nobody's life's perfect. My friend said in a graduation speech, my friend Jimmy said, perfect leaves, right when you leave high school and you go to college. You think life's pretty perfect at that point because you didn't have a lot of responsibility. Now you got a little freedom, and life gets challenging. You have responsibilities. You have things you got to live up to. You got things you got to show up for. So, as I've gotten older, I realize that I count my blessings, and I realize how blessed I am for the life I have, for the people that are in my life, for all the different things that I've been able to experience. And I appreciate the good things. And, sometimes you get dealt things in life that aren't exactly the way you wanted or the way you planned, but you just got to learn from it. And you got to really sit back and try to take inventory about understanding, okay, why didn't that go the way I wanted it to go? Why didn't that end result finish exactly the way I wanted? And how, if I am in a situation again like that, what can I do to make it the best I possibly can? And I think that's how I've tried to approach my life as I've gotten older too, and I'm sure as I go on in life, things are going to be challenging with different parts of life, business, family, personal situations. Life is just, we're never finished products, man. I have a guy that I talk to, and he says, you wake up in the morning, everything else is manageable. And life is manageable if you wake up in the morning. If you don't wake up in the morning, then it's over anyway. So what's the difference?
One of the most underrated blessings.
Yeah, just getting up and then saying, hey, all right, how can I approach the day? Go look at that man in the mirror and say, all right, what do I got to do today to try to make my life a little bit better for myself and for the people around me? Yeah.
So what is it now that you're excited to learn? And what are you currently learning? I'm sure you know how to be a great quarterback, see it, but what is exciting you right now to learn about?
So I have a lot of, I would say trying to, there's a lot of different things. I mean, how long we got here today? How much hair are you going to cut?
Not much. So you tell me.
I got a lot of, work things I like doing. There's a lot of sports business I'm interested in. I'm going to be a broadcaster for Fox next year.
Mm-hmm. And we're ready.
I know.
We're ready. And the world's ready.
I know. I love that. I love having this challenge to try something different in my life that's going to challenge me in a lot of different ways. I'm involved in a lot of sports businesses, involved in the NFL quite a bit, and involved in soccer team, a car racing team, a boat racing team, women's basketball, pickleball team, and I have some other businesses involved. I love being involved in Noble, and again, trying to change people's lives through this amazing mentality that has allowed me to reach my potential.
Yeah.
Again, I think it is for everyone. It's whatever people choose to do in their life, how do they approach it and maximize it? That's really what it is. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to be a businessman. You don't need to be, whatever you find that you love to do. Where's the blessing in my life? I found something I love to do. And that was I'm sure a lot like what you're doing now. These are days you look forward to. You wake up and you jump out of bed and you're thinking, man, I get to go do something I love to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the blessing of life. It's to have these days where it doesn't feel like work. feels like it's what you want to, where you want to be at anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how I've had a lot of years like that, and that's what I want for my kids too.
Yeah.
I want them to find something they love to do. And I always tell them that I don't give a fuck what you do. Just make sure you love it so that you're going to work harder. And if you work harder, you're going to be good at it. If you're good at it, I'm sure you're going to find someone that's going to pay you for it. And, that's rather than slave away at something you don't love doing, or you have a backup plan, or you have something that you're committed to that maybe you don't love quite as much. So I love being around people that are like you, that are down for the hustle, that are down to make it happen.
Thank you, bro. We're going to take a quick break from this episode to thank Noble. My name is Vic Blends, and today I'm shooting Deep Cut with Tom Brady, but I'm also rocking my Noble all days. They keep up with me while I'm in the gym getting my workout in, but they also keep up with me while I'm doing my work and doing what I love to do. So remember, show up for yourself so you can show up for others. Noble all day, show up all damn day. So what have you been seeing your kids pick up from you? Like how are they different?
Oh, they're all different. They're all different. They're way better than me. I mean, my oldest son, Jack, he's an amazing young man, straight A's, handles himself so well in groups of people. I see him and I'm like, God, he's 16. I'm like, how are you so mature? Lives in New York City, puts his heart and soul into everything he does. I mean, he blows me away with who he is. And my son, Benny, is really coming into his own at 14 years old. Started out, and since he's been in school this year in 8th grade, I've seen him flourish with his friends, and seeing him flourish in school with his counselors, and seeing him kind of develop into this young man. Sports, he's starting to play sports, which has been really fun to watch him, and come out there at night and do a lot of things I would say my dad did with me, where my dad would say, hey, Tommy, you want to be a better baseball, let's go up and I'll hit you ground balls. And I think for now, I'm like, all right, Benny, come on. He wants to go outside and play catch, and we run routes, and he catches the ball, and he played tight end this year. And just seeing him grow into the young man that he is, and he blows me away with his heart. He's a boy that has the most beautiful heart. Comes in, gives everyone the biggest hug, so grateful and appreciative of everyone. Just the most amazing young man. Then my daughter, Vivi, who's 11, I always tell her she's number one, and sweetest little girl. And she's just left yesterday to go on a trip with her mom, and just gave me a big hug and told me she loved me. And that's all you need from a dad right there when your daughter does that. So
yeah.
She's something special. So anyway, these kids teach me a lot, and they've, I'm sure your dad would say this to you, but it's not as a parent what you can teach your kids. It's really what they teach you. And, the different things look at the experiences your dad is seeing and probably learning from you just by you doing something you love to do. It's not what you can learn from your parents. It's what your parents can learn from you, and the things they bring out in you that they didn't even know they saw. And I think that's why they love their children so much, because, parents get to see their children, and they see them and they love them so much, and they go, wow, I never had any idea that life could be like this, but my children brought that out of me. Pretty amazing.
Really
you get to be a dad someday. Now you got to find a young, beautiful woman that's gonna.
Hey man, I'm open. I'm out here. Look, I'm out here, man. So I'm waiting on it, man. But now I can't wait to be a dad. I honestly think it's gonna be the highlight of my life.
Yeah.
I could wait a little bit, but I can't wait. Like my dad is my hero. He's my inspiration. So I can't wait just to get my own chance to do so.
Yeah.
So I mean, how does it feel? I mean, not only for your kids, man, but you're in retirement now, kinda. But you got more time for everybody in your life.
Yeah.
You got sisters.
Yeah.
You got nieces, nephews. You're also Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
I'm Uncle Vic.
Yeah.
I know kids, but I got a couple of beautiful nieces, man. So just how's the family environment been?
It's amazing, because you have, we're on a family chat every day where we share messages and share, from all the different things. I have a niece who's my oldest niece is one of the best college softball players in the country. She plays for UCLA. They're having a great season. But she's just an amazing young woman. I have niece and nephews. My niece Hannah, she's Maya's sister, and Jordan and Zach and Jeremy, and then Ryan and Jake, and then my kids. So we have a great tight family group that shares things all the time, because families, families always there. If you're blessed to be in a great family, it's provide you so much grounding. Mm-hmm. So I try to be the funkle, the fun uncle. So I try to have a good time with my nieces and nephews. I don't know what they'd say about that. But
probably the best funkle out there.
I know. We have a good time, and I feel like, again, going back to sports a little bit, all the amazing experiences that our families have because of sports, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about just as a professional. When I was a kid, man, we'd fucking go to softball games with my nieces. We'd be down there on the field, and I was 10 years old out there at the ballpark, eating, chocolate malts and, toaster pizzas. That was my childhood growing up. And after the games, we'd win, go out there and follow my sisters around. And
I mean, man, from you, of course, like, we're Patriots fans. We grew up Patriots fans. So some of my best memories in the world has been watching you light it up on the field with my dad.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what was going on, no matter how hard life could have been in that moment, we could always look forward to Sunday seeing Tom Brady play. And I'll never forget when you beat the Falcons, we were down at half. Dad is in the back, going through it. And I'm, just sitting there. I got Patriots, everything on, hat, shoes, pants, everything. And I remember my dad saying, like, man, if they win, fuck it. We'll drive to Boston the next day for the parade. 9-10 hours straight.
Wow.
So I'm like, damn, man, that would be cool to go see my grandma and my uncles. And, hey, God made it happen. And you came through and won. So it's like one of the best memories we ever had was driving the next day to Boston to come see you guys in that parade. It was rainy, snowy that day.
Yeah.
So, man, yeah, football brought a lot of great memories just with my family, man.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing.
Man, of course.
I did. So just that experience you had, I had that experience when I was young too. Because I was a 49er fan.
Yeah.
And I love the San Francisco 49ers. And they were the team to beat when I was your age.
Yep.
And young, when I was growing up like you were growing up. And my love for football came because of 49ers and Steve Young, Joe Montana. These guys were my idols. They were they were the guys I looked up to. And everyone, they had Ronnie Lott and they had Roger Craig and they had Tom Rathman and Dwight Clark and Ken Norton and Deion Sanders. And it was just so much fun because when they won, I did the same thing. I was going to the parades too. Now, it wasn't snowing and icy and cold like it was in Boston. We did it.
That was tough.
But I was banging my pots and pan on the El Camino, and my mom would take me out of school, and we'd drive up and see the parade, see all the guys on the floats, and what a great tradition that is. But again, it just speaks to how do we change communities, How do you change, it's a lot of common interests, common goals. And I think one thing that's challenging is there's not a lot of other things that bring people together the way that I wish it would, Sports does it. I think music does it in a way. But we got to find other things that bring us all together because we're all trying to just live a healthy, happy life and find people that can support us and love us. And
we're just here to serve the needs of other people. That's it. It's the mission of life.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
I mean, man, you've done so much, accomplished a lot. It's impressive to see, but why are you still going?
Because I think that if you're not going, then you're dying. Because what I've learned about my body is unless I stress my body doesn't grow. Unless I stress my mind doesn't grow. Unless I stress my emotions never change or evolve. Unless you stress your immune system, it doesn't get stronger. My goal for my life is to continue to be very active for a long time. I love being very active because think about my physical body has been so important to me over my life because it's allowed me to have these cool experiences. So I want to stay in really good shape and I want to be able to move when I'm older. And I want to, I've been very fortunate to live a healthy lifestyle too. So I try to live as healthy a lifestyle as I can and express to others the benefits of a healthy lifestyle without being overly preachy too. Because a lot of people don't want to hear that shit,
Yeah.
So I don't try to overdo it. But if people ask me for advice, then I try to give them a little bit what really just worked for me.
Yeah, shout out to Alex, man.
My boy Alex.
Yeah, shout out to Alex, man.
He's one of the biggest blessings in my life was having Alex come into my life. And he's like my brother that I never had. And taught me so much. Just spoke to him literally as I was walking on the set today. He's over in England working on this soccer team that we own and we're a part of. And again, we're trying to help athletes reach their potential. And I want to do that in pro football with, a team that I'm going to try to be involved in here. Not the Patriots.
Yeah.
Even though I'll do anything for the Patriots. Really, I'd do anything for any of these athletes. I'd do anything. Anyone that wants to come and ask me for advice, I love doing that because, if I can impart any bits of wisdom on people through things that I've learned in my life, then I love being able to pass that information.
Don't be that guy, man. Don't gatekeep the knowledge. Leave it all out there, man.
I try to get, the hard part for me is people don't want to listen all the time. It's like I literally try to give them, as much information as possible. And it's up to those people whether they want to adopt that information or not. But, that's, again, part of it, again, is not becoming attached to whether they do it or not. Mm-hmm. It's just, was I there and available? I gave them the best that I had. And if they choose to take the information, I met a guy earlier today that he said the most amazing thing to me. He didn't have a father growing up. He and his brother worked 4 jobs, and he found a poster of me when he was 14. And it was his inspiration. He said he kept on his wall his entire life, and used me and my story as motivation for him to make his life the way that he wanted to. And he had he's married. He's got a 9-year-old. He's got a 9-month-old, and got a beautiful wife. He said, very tight with his mom, bought her a house, and he's making it. And I think those are stories to me that I'm like, fuck, you think I'm an inspiration? You're an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
And I hear stories like that, and it just makes me want to feel like I want to get up every day and do a little bit better myself.
Yeah. I mean, man, we've seen you tackle on everything in your life, whether it was sports, it was competition, now it's the business world. Was there anything that you were procrastinating to face head on?
I'm not a procrastinator. So I think in general, the answer would be no. I feel like I have another good friend. And again, he says, the fish just don't jump in the boat. Meaning you better go out there and do it yourself. Don't fucking wait around and wait for someone to hand deliver something. Go make it happen. The fish don't just jump in the boat. If you want to go catch them, go catch them. Throw that line in the water and go do some work. And if it doesn't work that day, do it again the next day. So, and I think the procrastination, that's probably not good for any of us. I think we want to go out there and do it, go out there and make it happen.
Some days it gets tough.
It does.
Some days it gets tough.
And I think the part of it, that noble mentality is, fuck your tired body, fuck that unmotivated mind, and get out there and do it anyway. You better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, just say, fuck it, I'm gonna beat my mind today? Or do you just give in to your mind and say, I'm tired today, I'm lazy, I don't want to do it, it's too hard, no one else is doing it, it's a weekend, it's too late, these are already off hours, exactly what I want isn't happening right now. Like, okay, great. You know who that's great for? Your competition. You want that attitude to permeate the people that you're competing against. You want them to give in to their mind. You want them to say, it's too hard, I can't do it. But you want to be the one that says, fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself. The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something. It's not to wait for it to happen. Mm-hmm. Hey, Vic, your life just happened in front of you. Just show up today and make it happen with Tom. No, you had to do a lot of shit today to get to this day that no one really knows except you. So that's why you appreciate it, because you had to go through a lot of stuff to get to this day. Now, only you know what it took to get here, and that's why you value it. So other people from the outside in may say, Vic, you're so lucky. You get to do this, and you get to be, you have all these followers, you have these people that pay attention to you. You get to do these cool things. Well, yeah, but in your mind, you're probably still the same kid, with your brother and your other brother and your sister and your dad and your mom. You're like, no, you guys don't remember where I came from. And this is why I value this, because I have perspective.
Yeah.
I knew where I came from. I knew where I started. Now I appreciate where I'm at. And that's the beauty of life, to continue to appreciate where you're at.
Yeah, me and my friend, we got this saying. We always say, when somebody be like, oh man, this is crazy. And I'm like, man, it's not crazy. I would never use the word crazy to describe my life, because crazy isn't supposed to happen. Crazy is saying this is not real. Nothing's crazy when you made every decision that you had to do to be where you're at.
Yeah.
So I can't look at you and be like, oh man, it's crazy. You got 7. Oh, now you're doing this. Oh, you got Noble. Oh, you're doing Fox. That's crazy. Yeah. But you're sitting there like, man, I made every sacrifice possible to be here. I made the decisions needed to be here. Yeah. It's like, you're looking at like, how could it possibly be crazy?
Yeah.
That's how you feel, like you said, when you create a story and you go through it and you have created something for yourself. You value it a lot differently.
Yeah.
Do you still feel like an underdog? Like, is there still a 6th round, 199 pick back there in your mind? Like, do you still feel like you got something to prove? Maybe not to the world, but even to yourself?
I think for me, it is about proving that 199 mentality. It's a good mentality to have. I don't think I feel like I'm the underdog like I used to. I feel like if I was still playing football, I'd still feel like I was the underdog.
Yeah.
But I think in probably my professional life, obviously I don't feel like the underdog, but that doesn't make me approach things any differently. I still feel like I want to take that approach that there's another great saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room.
Wrong room.
So I'm trying to surround myself with people that are smarter than me in a lot of areas, that are smarter than me physically. They know more about their body, how to take care of it, how to nurture their body, that mentally that they are more talented and they have better approach to, let's say, being a businessman or entrepreneur. And then emotionally, how can I continue to grow emotionally? I don't want an emotion, to stunt myself emotionally where I'm not detached from my feelings or emotions or certainly detached from other people's emotions. I want to be connected to the people that I have relationships with. I want to help them be emotionally mature, be emotionally stable, lose that emotional volatility so that you can show up every day with a good attitude.
So how are you navigating those emotions? It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Sometimes life is really heavy, and maybe emotional awareness is something that I think this generation is starting to pick up and learn. Like, how did you learn, okay, mentally, there's things I got to work on when it's not going my way? How are you navigating those emotions?
A lot of older people that I learned from, they care less about what other people think as you get older. So the younger you can care less about what other people think, I think your life could be a little more emotionally less volatile. Because you don't have to give in to what other people may think of you. You don't have to give in to what these other expectations might be. You set your own expectations. And then you got to be willing to work toward that expectations. You're the one that has to be willing to put the work in. So I think it's just naturally it's an evolution. But when you're young and you're on a schoolyard and you're trying to fit in and you're trying to figure out what the other kids are doing and you don't want to be not the cool kid and you don't want to be, you try to fit in and you try to do what other people want. You try to not stand out so people make fun of you. But then you get to a point where you're like, fuck, I don't want to be a people pleaser. I tried to be a people pleaser in college, early part of my pro career. And then I realized I couldn't be all things to all people all the time. And I had to learn some tough lessons through that and create some healthy boundaries. And then with those healthy boundaries, I said, okay, this is how I'm going to approach this part of my life. Not everyone gets to come inside the ropes with me. I got to build some ropes for myself and make sure that I have enough time for myself that I could be centered in certain ways, even though sometimes I feel like I get outside of those boundaries myself and I have to recalibrate too. I'm trying to be all things to all people. And I go, okay, God, that didn't work. I'm exhausted. How do I find some peace and quiet in my own home to, get to a better place where I can approach the world with, less volatility. Yeah.
So I guess with all that going on and, for me, 2023 was the biggest wake-up call I could have had for myself mentally. Started the year very ill. I got diagnosed with bipolar 1 disorder very early, and I had to learn a lot about my body and just how I would care for myself going forward. And, when you're young and ambitious, I'm sprinting to the finish line. It feels like I need to get it all now. And that's kind of my generation. It's like instant gratification. I'm trying to get it, but I had this idea to just make it and do whatever I had to. And it got me. It got the best of me. I completely burned myself out, took it all the way down to the stub. And I had to relearn just how I'm going to care for myself. What am I going to do for me? And I made it a thing. I made it a point to give myself a little bit of time every single day just for me, just to do something that's going to bring me happiness. And that self-love has been important. Like, what does self-love look like for you? What are you doing for yourself that's just for you?
What are the types of things you're doing? Tell me that's probably more important to me.
Skateboarding. And that was a passion that I had when I was young. And I let it go because, originally I'm like, man, I'm going to run track because that's the easiest way to get a scholarship to go to college. And what I learned is that, man, like you, I can't please everybody. I'm trying to follow what people are telling me, and I'm losing pieces of myself that I feel like were most important, things that I knew I was passionate about. So now I just won't sacrifice the things that bring me happiness. I journal also, and I always write my emotions down. So putting that somewhere matters to me. I've been in therapy. I started therapy over a year ago now, so that's been awesome. And I think there's a stigma around therapy being this thing that you only go to when you're really fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's not the case, man. Successful people go to therapy. It's a tool in life to navigate things when you feel like you don't know where to put them.
Yeah.
Therapy's been a part of working out. I think you see
good.
it. I think you see it, man.
You look really good.
I think you see it a little
your
bit,
brother's
man.
a little jealous, I think.
Yeah, he needs to keep working, man. He'll get there one day, just be great, man. But I've been in the gym. I have never been in the gym. I weighed 120 my whole life, very small. I didn't really care. I didn't really think that, it's going to take mind, body, soul to get there. You can't lack one or the other. Gym's been there. Skateboarding's been there just for fun. Journaling's been there to navigate and put something somewhere. My therapy's been there to help me kind of push forward and learn as things are happening to me. And then connecting more with my family and making memories that have nothing to do with what I'm actually doing. Like spending time and making it like, all right, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah.
I know I'm sending away a cookout there. All right, there's something I want to go to in San Diego, the end of April. I'm booking the flight ahead of time because I know me. I'm going to go ahead and work through everything. I'm not going to give myself that break.
It's good for you. You got to keep that going now as you experience more levels of success. There's only been more thrown at you. And it gets harder sometimes to take care of yourself because you feel like, I can't pass up that opportunity. I can't say no to that person. I can't, man, that's my mom. I can't say no to my mom. Oh, that's my dad. I can't say no to that's my brother. I can't say no to my brother. Oh, that's my high school teacher. I can't say no to my high school. Oh, it's my best friend. I can't say no to my best friend. Oh, it's my best friend's mom.
I'm that guy. I can't.
Know.
I feel like I gotta.
But if they really love you, they'll understand. If you said, hey, I'm overwhelmed right now, and I'm sorry, I just can't do it right now, then people who really love you, they do understand. And they said, you know what? If they really love you, they realize the most important is your happiness and where your mood and balance is. So the people that love you and care about you always understand. Yeah. The people that don't, and you gotta be wary of them because then it's just transactional and then they get what they want and they leave you hanging.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, that didn't feel very good.
I heard a great quote and they said, stop making food for people that only want to-go plates.
Yeah.
If they only want to eat a to-go plate and they're going to leave the table once it's ready, like those are not people you want to be cooking for. Yeah. You want to be doing things for. Transactional relationships it sucks, man.
Yeah.
Over your life, you've accomplished so much. There's so much that we can see that you're probably proud about. But what was something that you did for yourself that you're proud about that not a lot of people may know?
Even with my career, it never felt like I was working. So I was having so much fun when I was playing. It looked like, man, even though I know it's pretty intense and a cycle out there was not one day that I didn't look forward to going to work. There was not one day I didn't look forward to getting in the gym, to practice, to work on it. It was just a true love of mine was to find a career. So, I think for me, it wasn't about giving things up or sacrificing or any of that. It was, for me, it's about how do I give myself to my team? How do I give my energy and my positivity to them? I feel like I've tried to, where do I need help? I need to be able to slow down when I need to slow down. My mind is always, I think how do you be ambitious and content? I think that's the balance that I'm looking to work at. And I think this year I said, okay, I want to be a little more mindful this year. I've got to get to a place where I don't want to be so ambitious.
Was it easy it's hard to be proud about yourself. That's a tough thing.
Yeah.
Have you taken moments just to sit back and be like, kind of proud of myself?
Hell no.
I've done this. No?
No, I don't do that. No, I don't. I don't really see that myself. I think I always look at others to be kind of my inspiration for that.
Yeah.
I love that being around my kids. They're very grounding for me. It's my greatest joy is seeing them and being with them. But my career and all that, that's the thing of the past in my mind. I was a gladiator out there. Now my time's moved on. Now it's like, okay, how can I deliver for my next group of teammates? How can I deliver for my Noble family? How can I deliver for Fox who took a chance on me in my broadcasting job? Yep. How can I get up every day to be the best for them? So those are the things I'm working at. And again, I don't know, man, you look back and reflect and all that. I don't know. There may be a time for all that, but not at 46 years old. I still feel like I'm young. I still feel like there's a lot I want to accomplish. There's a lot of places I want to see, a lot of people I want to meet, a lot of things I want to do. And at the same time, surround myself with people that help me grow in ways that I couldn't have grown had they not come into my life. And I'm fortunate to have the great network of people right now that have done that, and they're going to continue to allow me to do that.
Yeah. The last question that I really want to ask you before we get to some fun stuff is, what advice would you give 16-year-old Tom from San Mateo?
I would say don't be so tough on yourself, man. Don't be so tough on yourself. There's one thing I have this. I get down on myself if I feel like if I could have, should have done better, and that's probably as I've matured and grown up a little bit more over the years. I probably feel like I've been a little less tough on myself, but through my 20s, through my 30s, early part of my 40s, what could have, should have done better. So just chill out a little bit more, and smell the roses while you're going through it. But I was so ambitious. we'd win. Okay, next day I was in the gym. All right, how do we do it again next year? So that part for me was, that's a challenge. I need help.
You're doing better at it. Slow down a bit, man. A little bit more present. A lot to be grateful, even though you're not where you want to be at certain moments, places you want to get to. You're right where God needs you to be, and it's a lot to be grateful for. Like you said, we woke up today.
Yeah.
Blessing right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, thank you, man. So I got some quick cuts for you.
Okay, what do you got?
These are presented by Get Joy. We're going to take a quick break from this episode to thank one of our sponsors, Get Joy. Get Joy is a dog wellness platform with gut-healthy nutrition at its core. They make products that prioritize your dog's wellness same way that you do for yourself. So that way you can get back to making joyful memories together. Get Joy goes beyond the bowl with their preventative supplements, 24/7 access to televet care, smart collar technology, all for you and your dog to live a healthier, happier, and longer life together. What I'm loving the most is my dog Russ's new feeding routine with Get Joy's fresh meal plan. These meals are made with the best human-grade ingredients, designed and optimized for your dog's digestion and approved by vet nutritionists. They come in 4 delicious blends such as lean turkey, mineral-rich beef, healthy fat-rich lamb, and Russ's personal favorite, which is going to be the energy-boosting chicken. Each plan is individually packaged, fresh, and pre-portioned, which makes it a lot easier and convenient for my busy lifestyle. So feed your dog with peace of mind the same way that I do with Get Joy Fresh. You can get 60% off your first auto-ship box using the code VIC60. So click the link below to get started. And again, that's code VIC60 for 60% off your first auto-ship box. Now let's get back to the episode. We know you're huge on your body, your health. Big thing for you. You talk about all the time. What is the Tom Brady breakfast?
Smoothie. Oh, love my smoothie.
Yeah.
Blueberries, frozen blueberries, bananas, frozen bananas, protein powder, hemp seeds, flaxseed, chia seed, pumpkin seeds, almond butter.
Whole lot of seeds.
I know, it's good.
Whole lot of seeds,
is so
man.
Tasty. It's my favorite. Some electrolytes in there. Man, that's the best way for me to start the day. I look forward to it literally every day.
One thing you would change about the current state of quarterback play?
I think it's been dumbed down a lot. I think they're taking quarterback position where you should have been the field general. You should have had a real say on the field and contributed to the, you always had the last swipe of the pencil. And I feel like the coaches now are trying to make it more coaching focused and that just run what I call and get out there and be a robot. And, then ad-lib if the play breaks down. But I love being involved in the game plan. I love designing plays. I love designing schemes for our team. I'd go in there with a list of ideas of all the things I wanted to do. And I really got to the nuances of the game. Okay, it's cover one. It's man-to-man. How can I design plays to beat man-to-man and work with my coaches and work with the great minds that I've been around to develop a fucking game plan that would kill it every single game. And those game plans were Picasso's. We'd get ready for the game and be like, they have no fucking chance of stopping us with this plan. So today I feel like the quarterback just shows up and they go, what do you want me to do, coach? And we've dumbed the game down and we've it's more checkers now than it used to be chess.
Wow.
And for me, I think it needs to be much more time on task. I think people need to put more time into it. I think coaches need to push themselves more. I think players need to push themselves more so that they can continue to evolve the game. The athletes, people say, the athletes are better these days. I'm like, I don't know. Lawrence Taylor was a pretty fucking good athlete.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders was a pretty good athlete. Eric Dickerson was a pretty good athlete. Steve Young, Randall Cunningham, those are great athletes. There's always been great athletes in football. I think we got to get the game mentally better.
Yeah.
People need to understand exactly why they're doing what they're doing. Yeah. And I've been around a lot of really smart players, and you got to play. It's that type of game. You got to use your brain to get out there and give yourself an advantage.
So we've seen the game change a lot very quick. It's almost every single week there's a rule change. What are your thoughts on the hip drop tackle being removed and just the physicality of the game changing?
Yeah, it's again a thing I don't like about it. I feel like we're trying to protect people in a physical sport. I don't think you go into a boxing match and say, okay, I want you to beat your opponent, but I don't want you to beat him bad.
Don't hit him that hard.
Yeah, don't hit him hard. Just tap him and try to win on points. I feel like if you could protect yourself in football, then it's your responsibility to protect yourself. I don't think it's your opponent's responsibility to protect you. Now, I'm not saying if you are an unprotected player, like someone kicking the ball, a quarterback in the pocket, a receiver catching the ball, a linebacker, who can't see someone coming to block him from the outside in. You need to protect D linemen's knees, but you can't say you have the 100% ability to protect yourself, but this offensive player can't block you a certain way, or you can't be physical. There's going to be a lot of people that have been in the Hall of Fame. Ray Lewis, Rodney Harrison, some of the greatest players have ever been around. Great defenses, the Steel Curtain, the Purple People Eaters, Denver's defense, the what they call them, no-fly zone. All those guys. I mean, they won Super Bowls and were part of championship teams because of their physicality. Offense is the only way to win games now. It used to be offense, defense, special teams. We've created a game now where only the offense can really make an impact. Because defense, every time you make a great defensive play, there's a penalty and it advances the ball 15 yards. And they blame the defensive player for hitting an offensive player too hard. Yeah. So I don't like those things. I'd like for it to have a closer look at how we've affected the game in a negative way. And I think that should be seriously thought about for the future of the game.
All right. Top 3 rappers.
I mean, I was a Jay-Z fan always.
That's your guy.
Yeah, Jay-Z I loved. I love Snoop just because he's from California. And I love Drake because I think he's just, everything he puts out is a hit.
Yeah. Okay. Funniest guy you ever had in the locker room?
Oh, there's been a lot of those. Oh, man. I've been around the most fun guys. Depends what kind of fun you're looking for.
That's right.
I'd say fun-loving with like Gronk. Every day was positive. He was just so much fun to be around. Wes Welker always had a positive attitude. Funniest, like Matt Light, man, he was so funny. Mike Vrabel, just the driest, wittiest sense of humor. So there's a lot more than that, but there's some comedians out there.
Person you would trade places with for a day?
Oh, man. Who would I want to be if one day if I could trade places? Let's come back to that one.
All right.
If you give me a minute or two.
We'll run it back.
Yeah.
Childhood celebrity crush.
Oh, man. Pamela Anderson.
Pamela.
Do you know who that is?
I think I know her name. I don't think I know what she looks like.
Look her up. It was Baywatch.
No, I know that name of the. I've never seen the movie. She gotta be bad. If you're gonna, I guess she gotta be bad.
She was nice.
You
guys know who that is, Dad?
Pamela Anderson.
Don't tell me you don't know, Pops. All right, good. Show your son.
All right, most underrated NFL player of all time.
That's really hard. It's a lot of those. Most underrated NFL player. I'll say underrated teammate, Rodney Harrison. I mean, to me, he's one of the greatest football players the league's ever seen.
Yeah.
And doesn't get the recognition. I mean, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He was as good as a competitor, defensive player, smart, tough, physical, fucking mean out there on the field. And I loved it. And I loved playing with him.
Man, awesome.
Yeah.
Player you hated going against the most?
Ray Lewis. Yeah, just because he was the baddest dude. And he was so smart. He knew where things were going before. He'd look for any tip on the O-line. He'd listen to anything the quarterback said, any formation. He was so on top of it.
Yeah.
I just loved his approach. How he played the game from a defensive standpoint.
Wide receiver that you wish you could have got to play with?
Jerry Rice. Yeah. Because I just loved his production, the way he loved the game, the way he practiced. I heard stories about him and obviously his production, he ended up, how he ended up performing. He was incredible.
Yeah. Next quarterback to win a Super Bowl that hasn't won yet.
I like Josh Allen a lot. I think I'd pick Josh.
Josh?
Yeah. I like Josh a lot as a guy, as a leader. But, he's got to get past the Chiefs, and that's hard because Patrick's incredible in the way he leads that team.
Yeah. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I'm trying to see Lamar get his, man.
I know.
If not football, what pro sport? What
I got drafted in baseball, but I don't think that I could have been a great baseball player. I'd say golf if I couldn't.
You on the green right now?
I'm not that good, although I played a long time. I could be a lot better, but I love.
I've never played a real game of golf.
Really?
Nah, never.
Golf is one of those things that's my self-care. Like I like to get out there and I'm in nature. I'm walking around. It's very beautiful. It's very calm, and it's just you and yourself against that green. It's a hard sport. There's a lot of little unique challenges.
Maybe we hit the green together one day.
Let's go, man. You cut me up a little bit, and now we get to go out there and
all right, let's do that.
Hit the golf ball. I'm cool with that.
Look, we get it. You're 100% retired.
Yes.
Let's say one day there's a situation, right? Maybe it's the 49ers, maybe, heading to the playoffs. Offense is great.
Patriots,
somebody
Raiders,
look,
could be, you never know.
God forbid somebody goes down. Would you pick up that phone?
I'm not opposed to it. If they would, I don't know if they're going to let me if I become an owner in an NFL team, but I don't know if, I don't know. I'm always going to be in good shape. Always be able to throw the ball. So to come in for a little bit, like MJ coming back, I don't know if they let me, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
All right. Man, mic drop right there.
Thanks, Vic.
Bro, thank you, man. Let me get you this.
How's it look? What do you think?
Oh, you look like Tom Brady.
Did you do much to it? It feels pretty good. I needed that.
We're going to show you a mirror real quick. Clean his neck up.
All right. One
person
person to switch for a day.
Yeah.
That's a hard. Let me see. Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Like somebody you would have loved to live through.
I'd love to be the president for one day. Just because I'd love to just really see what the responsibilities are of the president.
Yeah.
Waking up every day feeling like you have all these jobs to do. That'd be interesting.
President be sick.
Yeah, that'd be
President
interesting.
Be sick. All right, let me grab this.
Let me see.
Right, come right over. All right, if you don't like it, just be honest with me, man. I'm a tough guy.
Well, I like it. See all them grays in there I got?
Come on, it's just wisdom.
You like it?
I think you look great.
Good work,
like Tom Brady, man.
Good work.
Bro.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, bro. This means a lot, man. And just to tell you again, bro, the memories that you give my family, man, it's like, couldn't trade it for the world, man. So
thank you.
It means a lot, man.
Thanks, Vic. Keep up the great work, my man. Keep up the great work.
Great to meet you. Good luck to you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You got a long journey ahead. You do a lot of great things. Keep it up.
I will, man.
Yeah.
See you on the green.
Oh, let's do it.
See you on the green, man.